Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to Drakewind Falls. I am the Beard, your DM for this lovely adventure, and I'm joined by four lovely compatriots. I'll have them go around and introduce themselves to you before we re-engage where we left off last time. To my left, Nate, our D&D ringer.
That's right. I'm Nate, your D&D ringer, playing Horton Abernathy,
Hi.
Owlin Wizard.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Oh, we got somebody with speakers on because we got a crazy delay. Highland? Oh.
Oh no.
You are muted, maybe.
Is this me? Am I on a weird delay?
I think so. Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Weird. I'm gonna cut. I shouldn't be muted. I'm not muted. What is happening?
That seems like
I'm gonna
quality
log in
hotel
there.
Wi-Fi.
Call the front desk.
All right. Well, we'll wait for a moment. In the meantime, how about everyone else introduce themselves? Fern.
Hello. I am Lady Christy. I will be playing Fern. I am a half-elf storm sorcerer / tempest cleric. Yeah, it's a brief intro. I feel like we don't have to get too far into this if we're doing this every time.
Probably. I'm Joel. I'm playing Becker Stokes, who is a mostly human fighter cleric. Does a lot of things with hammers.
Fair.
And hey, look, it's our friend Ryan.
I'm back, and it said my mic was working.
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
Live.
Sounds
Hell
real
yeah.
nice.
Hell yeah. I'm Warrior. I'm playing Highland. He's a Minotaur sorcerer, not cleric. I heard cleric. He's kind of a vibe-based character. So, sorcerer, though, he's just happy to be here.
Fair. So, last session, welcome to Drakewind Falls. We met Becker, Fern, Highland, and Horton, got to know them a wee bit. We also had the opportunity to hear from the esteemed Madam Horaldine Faird, the Dean of Students, as she gave her opening address and met a whole cavalcade of other lovely folks from around the falls, as well as some fantastic places to go out and enjoy the scenery. At the end of the first episode, our intrepid group of individuals was summoned to the dean's office, and upon arrival at the tower and a short bit of waiting and worrying, particularly from Horton, about whether they were in trouble, the door opened and there were 6 individuals in that space. Madam Horaldine Faird, the Dean of Students, as well as the current kind of Drake Warden Weir, which is the kind of heads of the 5 factions here in Drakewind Falls. Originally governed by a king, in the time since the heads of 5 families predominantly worked to both organize and lead the members of the falls, eventually creating Drake Wardens, which would bond with chromatic drakes, and they would relight the beacon that kept the falls safe and secure and a secret from the rest of the world. About 50 years ago, Drakewind Falls was revealed, and since then, the kind of 12 kind of that make up the council They have representatives within the academy, and the 5 factions basically are responsible to the different pieces of the academy and helping to bring people in. So there is the face, the scale, the talon, the tongue, and the breath. And well, you may not recognize all 5 of these individuals, Fern and Becker. Highland, you might recognize most of them, and Horton, you don't recognize all of them, but you certainly recognize a couple of them. The person who was addressing Highland at the end of last episode is Kiram Urinder, who is one of the heads of the 5 families, a descendant of Agnor, the first Red Dragonbound. He is the head of the Face, which also holds a seat on the Council of 12 here in Drakewind Falls. Going around, Highland, make me a history check.
Oh wow, it's my first roll of the whole campaign. I'm gonna do it. I will say that while I'm waiting for that roll to process, which takes forever on D&D Beyond, that I was super stoked that they gave us fuzzy dice, and I never really had a character that would use fuzzy dice until Highland. He would totally use it. That's a 15.
15. All right. So Highland, as you're kind of looking at this, given that you have been around the falls previously,
I appreciate that you have a ceramic bug.
Oh, sorry. I think we might still be lagging a little bit. But you recognize a couple of the other folks in the room. In addition to Kiram, you also notice Offaquin Kexer, who is one of the Dragonborn of the Western Wastes. She was here when you were a student, and is one of the kind of heads of the kind of Dragonborn Kresh that are part of the community of the Falls. You also notice, while he wasn't one of the heads of the 5 factions when you were there, you recognize him from your, let's say, social endeavors as Balin Briarbeard. He's a dwarven grandson of Balor, who owns the and founded the Talon's Tap, which is in town. Balin has both the gauntlet that signifies him as the head of the Talon, one of the 5 factions, and also has a sigil on his breastplate of a flare fox. The other person that you recognize, Highland, Horton, and Becker, is one Virginia Abernathy.
Grandma.
Her space in the academy is well known. Not many know that she also is the head of the Breath, which was founded by the other 4 factions as a means of having the citizens of the Falls and the leaders of the 5 factions and the Council of 12 have more say in the academy, and to try to root out in the last century some of the corruption that had found its way into the academy. And so Virginia looks over at Horton and kind of gives you the little like owl like neck shake that's basically like straighten up, and you kind of see Kiram after he gives his little speech about school colors to Highland. He continues and says, when the great revelation happened and the Falls were revealed to the world, a decision was made that despite their failure to relight the beacon, the nascent Drake Wardens were not cast out of the falls. He continues that though some have suffered, we allowed them to keep the crystals entrusted to them and the dragon bond that came with them until they chose to abdicate or traveled to the shores of the feathered isle of Bahamut's glory. And Virginia kind of steps in and says, when such events occurs, we have retrieved their burden and blessings and returned it to Drakewind until such a time came that a new Wardens might be chosen. But this agreement came with a caveat. Each Christmas, as the Falls honored the journey that brought us to this place, they were to return by the end of the 12th night and renew their vow to keep the people of the Falls safe. You see Balin kind of step forward and says, "This year, we fear another warden has been lost. And though our time is short before the hands of time tick forward to another semester here at the Academy, it is responsibility of this weir to ensure the status of the bearer's crystal and see it return safely to our stewardship." Then she's been pretty quiet, but Madame Faird kind of stands at her desk and says, "The four of you have been selected to undertake this task. We have watched and waited and heard tales of your tours." And she looks at Highland and says, No. No sense in denying them, Highland. We need you to head to Bonder's Pass, where you will find our agent, and she may help you on your way, as she has been scouting the area and sent word she has tracked traces of the missing warden into the cave system of Barber's Cove. And so she kind of says that my page will lead you out, but know that you go with the responsibility of returning the crystal or this errant warden to us. And Virginia kind of pokes her head in and says, "And please bring my grandson back before the start of term tomorrow, or he shall be late, and we cannot have that."
No, I definitely don't want to miss my classes.
No, you do not. Becker of Stokes, I leave him in your entrusted care.
A little real world experience. It's good for a kid. The female agent we have, it's not going to be some Fandolin, is it?
Excuse me?
I think you heard my question.
No, please. Could you say it one more time? Just so we all can.
Yeah, the female agent, it's not going to be a Fandolin, right? Because earlier, Bubba there was talking about the failure of the previous Wardens, when they didn't really fail so much as, get betrayed and backstabbed.
When we speak of the revelation, we take the time to honor the sacrifices that were made and choose to no longer dwell on betrayal. But no, you will recognize her by the colors she wears: bright green with a shock of white hair.
Right.
You will find her.
Just want to know I can trust who we're working with.
Highland's kind of like looks sort of uncomfortable, which is weird for Highland. And he's like, "Are you sure? Why am I here? Are you sure you didn't mean to call my mom? Do you want me to call my mom? She'd be way better at this than me. She's the adventurer. She's famous. You should know that. Why me?"
The four of you were chosen for a reason. And the four of you together are equal to this task. You don't need to be an adventurer to go on an adventure, Highland. And it seems like adventure finds you, even when you do not intend it to.
That's true.
True
story. It's true.
Are you able to tell us what warden we're going to go meet?
I'm sorry. But I cannot.
Good. That bodes well.
Great. Perfect. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
The weir kind of turns back to the madam, and the page kind of leans in again, just kind of out of nowhere, like they did down after the opening address, and was like, "If you'll all please follow me, I can get you outfitted."
Why are you whispering?
Secret.
It is not my place to raise my voice in front of the weir and backfired.
Hey, it's just
Also,
really hard to hear you.
This is as loud as I speak.
Okay. What do you mean outfit? I got clothes.
He kind of looks down and shakes his head and turns on his heel again really quick, as he did on the way up, and he leads you down from the tower into the kind of main court where things have been dispersed. They're not kind of taking down decorations, but it seems like they're getting the space ready for the beginning of term. They are kind of beginning to disassemble the large dais that the dean was giving their speech from, and the page moves across the courtyard with relatively great haste, and begins to bring you over into some stables where he secures you 4 horses to make your way down the falls into Bonder's Pass, where the Helmet Cloak is located.
Cool. Four people on horses. This always bodes well.
I think it was 5 last time, and it was on Drake. So I mean, could be worse.
Sure. Oh, I feel weird riding a horse. I'm sorry, horse. Heavy.
It'd be as weird as if you were a centaur.
I would like to see that.
Or if you were riding a centaur.
Right.
You'd not like to be there.
I've ridden a few centaurs in my day, but that's campfire talk. So.
All right, so you make your way down, kind of through the city, past the beacon, out to the kind of outskirts, and ride past another place that you're really familiar with, Highland, the Cloak and Stagger. Cloak and Stagger has, as similar to the beacon, been a kind of magnet for Academy alumni and others that are kind of making their way to town to lend aid in the rebuilding efforts. The beacon is a little bit more chill vibe. It's a little more Highland vibe. Genensis, some of the alternate Genensis brewing and or in taking operations happening at the beacon. Cloak and Stagger tends to be a bit more rowdy, It's a bit more of a kind of college bar, and yeah, they also have kind of an inn above, but it's almost always kind of packed to the gills with people sharing drinks. Yes, GBD, Genensis Brewing delicacies. And so you pass through Cloak and Stagger, or by Cloak and Stagger, kind of on the outskirts of town before you pass the kind of edge of what you kind of know as the pass downward. This is where the kind of beacon used to kind of extend to, and this is where a lot of the individuals who kind of knew the way in and out, and a lot of the Talon and Scale operatives kind of moved in and out of Drakewind Falls. This at one point was the road that also led to the Hearth, which is kind of no longer in the same kind of fashion. But it takes you, just a short while, probably about 20-30 minutes to kind of carefully make your way down the mountainside and into Bonder's Pass, where Highland, you spent a lot of time kind of sneaking out and frequenting some of the establishments here in Bonder's Pass. They're pretty popular with the academy, the kind of elder academy pupils, as well as some of the locals, especially after the kind of beacon was no longer lit. You also can see kind of out in the kind of agrarian fields near here that the cultivation of Genensis and some of the kind of offshoots has grown up into a bit of an enterprise. The kind of development of Bonder's Pass since the falls were developed, there's a real kind of mutually beneficial relationship between the two communities, and a lot of people kind of pass back and forth. If the kind of academic or kind of governmental seat is in the falls, Bonder's Pass is most certainly the kind of head of commerce for this region of the Wing Whisper Mountains. So you guys make your way down. You can see that there's a stable kind of out back here at the establishment, so you can get your horses taken care of there, and then go exploring or head inside.
Thanks, Horsey. I never got your name. He sort of stands there expectantly.
You hear it neigh to you, and it sounds a lot like Nate.
Oh, Nate. That's a good name. Well, thanks, Nate. That was a good ride.
Nate the horse.
Nate the horse.
Highland will probably go inside.
Do we see anyone outside?
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of folks that are kind of out and about. This is still, before midday. You all have been, kind of seeing the address from the dean that was scheduled in the morning. And so the entire time that's passed, since you were all kind of out and about and, helping people around or having your morning cuppa, it's still kind of before the kind of midday meal. And so people are wandering around the market in the town square, which is kind of just adjacent to the pub here is pretty hopping. You see that there are a number of different establishments kind of on the square, in addition to some of the kind of town's more prominent family homes. But the market seems like you could get most things taken care of there in terms of your kind of daily food needs or other such kind of adventuring sundries that are kind of commonplace in the world.
Becker's going to give a quick, hey, mystery lady. Well, I guess we're going to have to go have a drink while we wait.
Oh, no.
It was a good plan, though. It was worth a try.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You really did it.
That's why I like Becker. He's an ideas man.
Yeah.
Remember F Mountain? Okay, so you guys head into the Helm and Cloak. You are greeted by a kind of much more subdued atmosphere than when you kind of rode out of town, as people were kind of making merry even in the middle of the day. The Helm and Cloak is a bit more subdued, and people are generally kind of just starting to trickle in for a midday meal. Some of the folks that might have been up a little late celebrating the kind of tail end of the kind of Christmas season are just coming down to have a bite from the inn floors above. And when you're coming in after Highland in the day, you know that you've been doing a fair bit of fun.
The metric.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like before or after Highland.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good way.
BHH.
Yeah.
So you head into the Helm and Cloak. You see that there's a kind of man behind the bar tending and bringing out food and drink to some of the patrons. Not a whole lot of folks in yet. There's a couple of gnomes at a table in the corner. A couple of kind of goblinoids that are chatting with some rat folk, and it looks like they're a bit older. Looks like they might be playing some cards, but for the most part, it's pretty dark.
I'm heading straight to the bar with I need something stiff and something filling.
Well, something stiff, I can get you yesterday's bread, but something filling, we'll have to look for something in the kitchen. What do you fancy? Some stew, meat, or do you prefer something plant-based?
I think stew would be great, and I don't know, whiskey or something similar to replace the day-old bread.
Yes, well, we have plenty of grain-based drinks for you to sample. And for the rest of your compatriots, anything?
Yeah, I'll have, I don't know, the plant-based thing is always a fun surprise. I'll have that. All I've had to eat for like a month is like thick-ass oatmeal. So I'm just looking for anything, honestly. It's really good, but I like variety. So I'll just have that plant-based surprise.
Plant-based surprise.
Yeah, he looks over at you, Fern, and says, "For the lady."
I would love a bowl of stew. Sounds lovely.
Excellent. 2 stews, plant
Stew heads in
surprise,
this group.
some grain for the stout man here, and I will be right back with that.
But hey, what about me? He kind of
He,
hops up
turns
so the
around.
bartender can see him.
He like
Down here.
I'm
looking
not bend down. I'm gonna boost Horton up so he can see the bartender.
Hello, my diminutive fellow. What? I'm so sorry, master, young master. What might I get for you?
I guess I'll try the stew.
Excellent. And he says, and I think I have something else that you might like. I'll see if I have any left.
3 stew
And
head.
he goes back and brings out a couple of stews. The plant-based surprise looks to be like a pretty hearty artichoke dip situation.
Ooh.
It's real nice.
All
Some
This is
spinach
nice.
beans stirred through.
Sure.
Um,
Do you have any
It's not
like of that old bread I can put in this for scooping?
oh yeah, he's got chips, basically like cut
Sure.
pieces of bread just all stuck in there.
They're all like they're in like a stack, like alternating point directions.
Yeah,
It's a very nice presentation.
Yeah, it almost looks like an
appreciate it.
artichoke heart sitting on top
So
of the dip.
sure,
Breathtaking.
lovely. This is usually such an afterthought. It's nice to see some real effort put into this. I appreciate you
Absolutely. And
as a
he
restaurateur and a person.
well, that's mighty kind of you. Have we met before? You seem familiar.
Probably. I don't know. Do you know a Minotaur who wears a robe all the time? Because if you do, that's probably me. I get around.
It seems that you do. Well,
Sometimes it's a different color. So must be I'm Highland.
excellent, Highland. I'm
Do you know anyone
Zaragos.
named Highland?
I
Zaragos?
don't. I do. It's very much
Is
a
this place
pleasure to
haunted?
meet you.
Is there a ghost in here?
No ghosts.
Oh, okay.
Stew, whiskey,
It sounded
yes.
like there a ghost in here.
It's quite charming.
Okay.
Quite charming.
All
He
right. Well,
puts the stew
can't
down in
wait.
front of
I'm gonna
Becker
go
and
eat my
Fern, and then Becker he
Bye.
places kind of glass in front of you, and you see him pull out this kind of looks almost like stone, but you can tell it's kind of like a thick ceramic jug with a stopper in it, and he pours a bit of it in the glass, and it starts to bubble and almost foams up over the edge, and then you see it like start to kind of ripple and settle down until the kind of foam on top has settled, and he says, "It's my finest, my lad, on the house."
It looks promising.
Wow.
I'm gonna knock it back.
What'd you say, Becker?
I'm just gonna knock it back. This
Nice.
looks promising.
Yeah. All right, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
25.
This is top shelf. Like the fire that flows through your veins after you like knock this one back. Like you are Nolan Ryan, and you've just taken 2 Advil, and you are ready to go another 9 innings.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Horton, he brings out some kind of deliciousness for you as well, and in it you can see that there is a kind of I don't know, similar to Highland. There are kind of like things stuck in there, and these are like deep fried mice, and this is like a super treat. We're not talking like rat folk mice. This is not some kind of weird Pokemon thing. These are kind of like, ooh, owls likey mice. And this guy knows what an owl likes. And he feels a little bit bad that he overlooked the young master. And so he says, I hope you enjoy a little treat.
Oh, these are quite a delicacy.
I'm gonna look over and be like, I hope that's not what mine looks like when it comes out because we ordered the same thing.
No, you and Becker receive a nice, healthy, kind of steaming bowl of stew. It's ceramic as well, and gesundheit, and it's real like it has that kind of like lovely, kind of warm to the touch. After a ride, this is during the colder months, and so it's a really nice, kind of. Fill you up, but also kind of warm you up, and you can kind of keep your hands, kind of near the vessel. It's just kind of radiating out that warmth.
Is this the kind of establishment that has like the bottles displayed behind the bar?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, it's a public.
I'm looking to see if my family brew is here.
Why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about your family brew?
Oh, well, I am heiress of the Fen in the Falls distillery, which is known for its fine malt liquor made with the peat fired from dragon's breath in the fen, the bog, where I live. And it is the shit. Continent renowned.
You see that not only do they have the kind of normal bottles, but they have like the aged bottles as well. Like they have the 10-year, they have the 12-year, they have the 16-year.
The 15.
And you can see, sticking out kind of behind, they have the vintage from the year that you were born. Which is the Fernanda's blend, which is it is the cream of the crop. This is a well sought after and very rare vintage that has just kind of been one of those bottles that people with a discerning palate seek out. It was bottled especially to celebrate your birth, and it was something that your father is very proud of, and it's one of those it's one of those things that people seek out to celebrate special occasions, because
it's a good one.
There was something in the air that night, Fernanda.
I will look at him. I will look up and look at him and just give him like a knowing nod.
And he kind of like nods back, and it's like, and then like looks back at the kind of crest, and then like looks at you, because at this point when they're selling it, like if they're kind of selling that, there is a striking resemblance between you and your mother, and so so yes, there's most definitely a Fernanda's blend up on these shelves.
Nice.
So if everybody can make me a perception check, that'd be wonderful.
Perception.
19.
It was
7.
It was almost good.
I just rolled a 1.
8.
But that's a 6.
So as you are kind of all looking around, Becker is kind of like knocking back a bit of stew, knocking back a bit of whiskey, and then you call out again to the entire bar after you have finished out your stew, and a woman in the corner kind of pulls back her green cloak, and you see this kind of shock white kind of braided hair, and a kind of half elf says, "You don't need to be so loud. Please join me."
I mean, it worked.
You're not wrong.
It did.
Pretty good.
Please. Zargos, another round for my friends. And he kind of, signals over to it and says, "I'll bring everything over. Don't worry about it." So, go ahead, Highland. Sorry.
Oh, no, Highland was just, he was diverted because he was like, wait, you're the Fernanda that they blended?
It's true. It's true.
Oh, wow. I've had so much of that. It's really good.
It's great, isn't
They
it?
did a good job on you. They did a good job on you for your blend or
Thank you.
your namesake. Did they name you after? Because
No.
these get
Other way.
Okay, other way around. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes more sense. But I don't want to make an ass out of you and me, so
that's true.
I'd like to ask. Oh, that's
Only
wow,
polite.
that's unbelievable. It is. That's true. Thank you for noticing. He's like finished his dip at this point, and he just like drops the remaining like toast points into one of the pockets of his robe and walks over to the table.
Some good pocket toast.
You never know when you're going to need some pocket toast.
Pocket toast. Pocket toast saves lives. I learned that from my mom. She's a famous adventurer.
She is. It's a true story. So you sit down, and the half elf says, bids you, kind of a good day and welcome, and says, "Are you here on behalf of the Weir, I assume?"
Yep.
Well, welcome to Bonder's Past.
Thank you.
Very nice here.
Good
Good stew.
It is quite good.
Good taste in liquor.
Excellent taste. You are well known, Fernanda.
Turns out.
Famous.
Public offices across the land, those with discerning tastes.
Mm-hmm.
Those who choose.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Not creepy at all.
Not creepy at all.
So
That's going to be a pickup line at some point in this game, and it's going to still be very creepy.
it's always going to be creepy. Drakewind Falls, keeping it creepy. So she introduces herself as Zandy Silverthorn, and says that she has been scouting out the kind of last known traces of the missing warden since word came that they did not return or send word. Well, it's uncommon that all of the wardens might return on any given Christmas celebration. They have always sent word of their whereabouts, and to let us know that they continue to stand guard over the falls. But this Christmas, we did not receive word, and so they dispatched me to find trace of this warden, and they led me to the cave system just outside of Bonder's Pass here in Barber's Cove. That was... Oh, sorry. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't lagging. She basically says, like, that was my responsibility. And now it falls to the four of you to confirm whether our fears are founded or if something else has kept them from honoring their commitment.
Who are we looking for?
That I do not know.
Just
I
a
was
big
told.
damn secret.
You don't know
Well,
which one didn't check in?
That is not my purview. I was told to track the essence, let's say, of a Drake Warden, the energy that the crystals emit is quite specific, but not so specific that even I can tell which of the Wardens has been here. Only that the energy leads to Barber's Cove, and there you shall find the crystal, whether you find the Warden intact or not.
Swell.
Great plan.
All right. Well, I guess we better get going if we have to get back quickly.
Your grandmother would be
Yeah,
quite disappointed.
That's
She's scary.
I know.
I don't want to disappoint her. I don't even know her.
All right, so you guys can head to Barber's Cove. Is a kind of short distance outside of town. The cave system is pretty large, but not kind of insurmountable. Zandy can lead you kind of out and give you kind of general directions. But she says that she's also been summoned back to the falls on urgent business, and so she wishes you all the best, and says,
Before she goes, is there anything we should know about this area?
Can you be more specific? Like,
I mean, hazards, things to look out for.
I mean, she says that, outside of all of the kind of normal hazards that you would find within a cavern system,
Sure.
to keep on your best lookout. To the best of her knowledge, outside of the kind of energy that she noticed, the cove itself is not kind of known to have like inhabitants as we would know it, or
Sure.
there's no kind of like goblin clans or anything like that has been in there. For the most part, they are more of a curiosity around around the past than they are a kind of like enclave of
Sure. It's not like,
ogre.
this is Cyclops Clave, and we call it that because there's a Cyclops inside.
Yeah, no, that's why it's called Barber's Cove, because it's called Barber's Cove.
Perfect.
I don't know, maybe they used to
barbers in there.
Maybe.
Good
Never
place
know.
to get a haircut.
Yeah, 2 bits.
Yeah. Before we leave the bar, Becker wants to chat with Zargos and see how much it would cost to get a road flask filled with the house special. Just in case it's more than a day.
No, so like as Horton and Highland and Fern are kind of chatting, kind of making inquiries with Sandy, you kind of walk over and kind of ask, and he says, he asks you if you have your own flask, or if this would be a rental.
No, I've got a flask you could fill.
Well, then finish what's in it, and we'll get that filled up for you on the house.
Wow, thank you.
This place is great.
Love this place. Slam down what's in the flask to make room for something better.
All right. So he like when you do that, he kind of holds up the fire whiskey and takes a sip as well, and then like you see him kind of like, gets me every time. And you kind of hold out your flask, and he, kind of deftly, pours it in and like tops you off. And you see like it kind of like bubbles up, and then like there's just like almost like a steam chute like coming out of the inside of your flask, and then it slowly kind of dissipates, and you're able to cap it off and be ready to be on your way. And he says, word to the wise, I wouldn't go too hard on that if you're needing to keep your wits about you. But
That's
by all
fair.
means, I have a vested interest in the safety of the pass and the falls, and anyone who is working under the employ of the five is welcome here to drink at my bar anytime. So, by all means, stop by again, and we'll talk more.
Anatar's blessing on you, and you should be very proud of what you've made. Because this is, you put the spiritual in spirits.
And my best to you. Anatar's blessing on you as well. So you guys, you can head out. Barber's Cove is just about a kind of 20-minute walk outside of town to the kind of edges of the cavern. Is there anything else you guys wanted to take care of before you took off? It's about midday, so you guys have had some grub. You're pretty well stocked, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if Horton needs to like shoulder Yoda for the walk.
I thought you were gonna like be like, "Hey, buddy, do you need to go before we go?" you need to drop the pellets off at the pool.
No, I
He
trust
ate a
him.
lot of mice.
He's old
I
enough
did.
to be on top of that situation.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
if
man.
you want to give me a ride, that'd be great.
Yeah, hop on up. Not a problem.
It's really
I just
cute.
realized that like owls like poop out mice skeletons, and that you could like reanimate the dead if you became a necromancer, Horton. Just throwing that out there. You are what you eat, baby.
It's true.
Wow.
That took a
You're
turn.
welcome.
You're welcome. Nobody
Okay.
thanked you for that.
You took a what?
So Horton, you're able to ride on Becker's shoulder. It is, as we say in the biz, cute AF.
Mhm.
You make your way out of town and up to the cove, which is a series of caverns. The kind of entrance to the cove is covered in kind of moss and dew. There's a lot of condensation you can see on the interior of this, and you can tell that once you get about 20 yards into the cavern system, it gets pretty dark. There is some phosphorescent moss kind of here and there, but the kind of longer and kind of deeper you get into the cavern system, you're probably going to have to either light torches or,
I can take care of this. I can take care of this. So Highland, once it starts getting like too dark for his tastes, he'll kind of stand. He'll stop. He'll be like, "Hold up, just a second," and then he will start just pouring out his mug, and it just doesn't stop pouring. And it's kind of like this. There's a glow that starts to grow on the floor of the cave, and it just keeps getting taller, sort of like it's filling in like an outline. Like he's just filling it up with light, and then a few seconds later, it doesn't sound like a drawn out process. He finishes casting dancing lights, and his light dude is there. It's like, "Hey, light dude, this is light dude. He makes everything brighter so I can see. So, what's up, light dude?"
Oh, that's super helpful.
Yeah, light dude
what
can't
does
talk. It's kind of
dude look like?
Light dude looks like the vacant champion on WWE. Like if you just filled a hollow mannequin with light, like it's just light dude. Nothing remarkable. He's just dude made of light.
Dude made of light.
Just a dude made of light. Yeah, I was so thrilled when I read the dancing lights description. It's like you can make a medium creature out of light. I was like, light dude is here.
Light dude is
Wait.
here.
I would have thought you'd have dark vision.
Yeah, I would have thought that too, but it didn't work out for me on that. Do you?
Yeah, after a fashion.
Am I the only one?
Yeah, I mean, I have a dark vision.
What?
I mean, I do this like rune on my gear, and it gives me dark vision.
Okay. All right.
I was just born this way.
That's okay. No, it's okay. I love you, Light Dude. Let's go.
You guys high five.
Do high five. Light Dude is also holding a mug.
All right, so Light Dude with his mug of light Genensis is hanging out with you, just like walking along, like, kind of looks like he's like shooting the shit with Highland. Like maybe he's talking, maybe he's not. You can't hear. He's made out of light, not a sound. You kind of pass further and deeper into the cave system. And as you kind of start to kind of move deeper, it starts to head down a bit, and you can see that the kind of ceiling of the cave doesn't kind of follow down. It's not like a tunnel. It starts to kind of crescendo out into a larger system. And as you kind of enter this space, you have this kind of faint hollow glow of Light Dude in this absolutely enormous cavern with stalactites and stalagmites kind of everywhere. There's a bit of that phosphorescent moss that kind of dots the inside of the cavern, but for the most part, outside of Light Dude, it's real dark in this space, and you kind of continue to move into the middle of a hall that's probably a kind of cave that's 100 feet in diameter. It's incredibly cavernous, to the point where the kind of hollow feeling of Light Dude is only matched by the sound of kind of Highland's slippered heavy feet clomping against the ground, and Becker's kind of work boots clacking along next to you. Why doesn't everybody make me a perception check?
12.
15. That +5 to perception works way better when I don't roll a 1.
Yeah. Becker, what did you get?
With my +6, I got a 7.
Oh. Highland?
10.
All right. As you kind of continue to move along, anybody 15 or above?
I had a 15.
Right. So Fern, you kind of feel like the kind of dampness on the ground is a little sloshy. Like you start to like not hear as much like a click clack as you guys are walking along, but a splish splash or a slurp here and there,
not a slurp.
to the point where it's really kind of loud, and there's a lot of echoes kind of bouncing around in the cave, and so I need you all to make me dexterity saving throws.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
Crit.
Oh.
Good crit, bad crit.
Good crit.
Okay, excellent. Highland?
20.
Horton?
12.
And Becker?
Oh.
8.
All right. Becker,
I got a rock.
you slip, and Horton, you realize that your scarf is still kind of draped over Becker's neck,
Okay.
and it ends up pulling you both down to the ground as you fall, and you.
Can I try to use a reaction to like football cradle Horton?
Absolutely, yeah. Make me another dexterity saving throw.
Nope. That would be a 4.
Okay.
You know what? Can I burn inspiration for this?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Joel, if you burn inspiration, it's an inspiring move. So I'm going to say keep your inspiration. You're able to do that, but you hit your head pretty hard and take 2 points of bludgeoning damage. You kind of like look up, and Highland and Fern kind of like walk over, and they're like standing above you. And then Light Dude kind of leans over as well, and they're like, "Yeah, are you okay?" And you're just like, "Oh yeah, I'm
good.
fine." So his little buddy here.
You're gonna like lift Horton up for one of the others to take.
I'll take Horton.
All right. So you
just carrying him like this, so his little wings are out.
So Becker, you pass him up, and then you disappear quickly into the darkness as you are pulled along the floor of the cave, and you hear Becker kind of go "Oh!" as he's pulled away, and he disappears into the darkness, and it's
okay. How long? So is it like an instantaneous thing, or is there time to cast a spell here? Before Becker, between the time that Becker starts getting like pulled to the time he disappears, is there time to cast a spell?
I will say if you can cast it as a reaction, it's like a split-second kind of horror movie kind of.
Sure. And it looks like he got pulled in a direction or straight down.
In a direction. It looks like he got pulled away from you very suddenly.
Okay. Has the cave thus far been like a straight shot, other than winding or whatever? Like there haven't been branches.
You haven't kind of like passing through. Like there hasn't been like a lot of different options. You've basically been passing through kind of one continuous kind of series of caverns thus far.
And could we tell? And he got dragged underwater, or just dragged backwards?
Dragged backwards, like basically outside of the kind of bounds of Light Dude's kind of shimmering lightiness.
Yep. All right. Highland is going to take off his slippers and prestidigitate them clean because they're probably mucky, but this is going to get really wet. So, and then he will sort of like gingerly sort of like scramble down the whatever ledge that Becker, is it like a ledge or is it like a slippery ramp?
You guys are kind of like, you guys are like kind of in the middle of this big like 100-foot diameter cavern. To the best of your knowledge, you're 40, 50 feet.
So it like pulled him out of our view, but it didn't necessarily like pull him like over a ledge.
Yes.
Sorry,
yeah.
It just like yoinked him in the same direction.
I had gotten the impression that they had fallen off of like a ledge or something.
Oh no, sorry. No, this is like a picture like horror movie getting like pulled out of the like range of light that you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Highland will still remove and debunk his slippers, and then he will stuff them in the other robe pocket as to not get slippers on his toast, and then he will he'll just start moving forward like Becker. This loud thing worked for Becker back in the tavern, so I figure
it did.
This will probably work pretty well for him. And he will be like, "Hey, Light Dude, can you do that cool thing that you do that I think is really, really nifty?" Light Dude sort of nods and then just evaporates into 4 light balls. And so Highland like sends them forward. There's 4 of them, and he sends them forward. One's right by his head so he can see, and then they're 20 feet apart, so 80 feet out in a 10-foot radius from the ball. He should be able to see.
So as you do that, the cavern lights up, and you see that there are a series of kind of stalagmites that dot the floor of the cave. And about 25 feet away, you see Becker is bound and gagged against one of the stalagmites. Becker, can you make me a Constitution saving throw?
I can try. How's a 24?
That's fantastic. So when that lights up, your eyes are like super big, and you're like yelling against the kind of gag that's in your mouth.
Okay.
And you guys kind of all hear and see him, and immediately it's like quick pan, like whoop, like right to Becker, and he's like right there, like yeah, just.
All right. Highland is going to, when he sees Becker, Highland is going to grab it. He's going to pour his mug out in like a circle onto the surface of the cave or the water or whatever, and it's like it's sort of like a glowing circle, like a hoop. And then he picks it up and he flings it forward, and it drops over Becker. And Becker reappears next to everybody as he casts a vortex ward.
All right. So Becker, you pop back in right next to everybody, and when you do that, Becker, you land, and you see that the stalagmite that Becker was attached to is the kind of ropes that were binding him begin to animate, and you recognize that this is no kind of ordinary stalagmite, and a large red eye opens, and you see this. And I'd like you all to roll me initiative for the first combat ever. Drakewind Falls, baby.
Do not like.
Oh man, I can't. I was gonna fire it. Can I fire it?
You could try.
Horton, what'd you get?
11.
Highland? Oops, sorry, I missed it.
I guess I can.
Oh, no. I might have missed
15.
you again.
There
15.
we go.
Becker
9.
and
15.
and Fern.
I have a 6.
Oh,
All right. A 6 for Fern. Okay. Let's see when our
Apparently, I can only
sweet.
make Constitution saves today.
What's that?
I can only make Constitution saves today.
Hey, that was a good save
Everything
to make
else
just then.
Yep. I'll take
Everything else is trash.
Yep.
All right. So it's going to go Highland, Horton, this good boy, and then Becker, and then Fern. So Highland, you are up first.